What's going on, movie freaks? My name's Dan. This is my buddy Sean. Welcome to Hero Lair. Thanks for hanging out with us, whether you're checking us out on the live stream on YouTube or if you're listening to Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud. Where the fuck else are we?
All the above.
All of them. We're there. So whether you're in your car, everything else. Eventful few weeks. So we got a lot to catch up on today. We're going to be talking a bit about some news we haven't had a chance to shoot the shit about. And then we're going to do a full spoiler review of Cobra Kai. And we're going to do a full spoiler review of Deadpool 2, the main event. So some news that hit. Did you see from Paramount? They've got the Bumblebee movie planned. Then they were talking about doing another Transformers one. So the Bumblebee movie is still a go.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of surprised about that. But they've officially pulled whatever the next Transformers movie would be off the slate. Like I think they had it for 2019 at some point, or maybe 2020. Yeah. And they're like, all right, that's gone. I think it's smart.
That's
too.
a good move.
Yeah,
that's
I agree. Yeah.
I was looking at some of the stills, and it looks like John Cena is part of Sector 7. But then if he's part of Sector 7 with Bumblebee, then how come the Transformers don't know about him already?
Yeah. It's just,
in the first one.
Yeah. I mean, those Transformers movies, you take something where there's such years and decades worth of comics and lore. Yeah. And I get, you go back and you watch G1, obviously it's very toned down and there's some stupid shit and it was to push toys. Yeah. But there is an underlying through line of story themes and overarching messages and characters and, a civil war, ascending to leadership, the whole sentient robot aspect of it, coming to being refugees and now fighting for your new people. That's a common theme that's out there, and they've never gone after that at all. They've never even touched it. They just wanted to show cool-looking robots, explosions, and it worked for the most part. But with the last movie, like I have a little mini statue of like a bust of Optimus Prime. Yeah. Like I'm in it. I didn't bother going to see the last one, so they lost me. Yeah, and I flat out stayed home. I think a lot of people did too because there's a lot bigger loss box office wise.
And I think it's they're always trying to get Transformers to fit in our world where we should be. It's like everybody should be trying to fit into Transformers world. You know what I mean? It's like like Captain America. You know what I mean? Like the way he is and his values and his morals and whatever. If like they did the same thing with Transformers, it would be like the character of Captain America would be totally different. Yeah, I see what you mean, yeah. And it's totally like, you have Optimus like, give me your face and saying all these things.
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
That he would never say.
Yeah, in the cartoon. So it's like, there's this value system. It is almost like programmed into them. And they should actually use that to their advantage when they're making these movies.
Yeah, and they never have. I mean, the Brotherhood, that they've killed off robots here and there, and whatever Autobots and Decepticons they brought in. One, Decepticons, only Megatron did they actually ever give any care to character traits and character development. Yes. And even then it was very little. Yeah. But you got all these, and again, they were toys and they're supposed to be pushed on us, but a lot of them are really cool and unique. Which is why they've stood the test of time. Yeah. There's the most recent season of The Toys That Made Us, that documentary series on Netflix, and one whole episode is just on Transformers.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
And you can see that even though they were an amalgamation of two different toy lines, just what the Marvel Comics writers did in injecting life into them, it fits. They've never pulled from that in the movies. So I think this definitely shows that they know that we're kind of 10 years of Bayhem style Transformers explosion nonsense. Yeah, we've kind of had enough. They've pulled everything else. What'll really suck is if they do more of a stripped down character based Transformers movie, and then it comes in even weaker. Like if they fuck up the marketing or something, or they get too nervous, because then it'll be like, oh, see, Michael Bay's the only one that can do it. Like it's risky, right? Because when you put those out, you're looking for billions.
But you know what? As long as they make it about the Transformers and not about the humans, because I think that was a big problem too.
For sure.
It's like they're trying to do all these high spots and these laughs with the humans
and even just transforming. Like I haven't watched all of The Last Night, but as I fast forward through it and shit like that, I'm like, is there actually any transforming going on? Like, is there any? What's like? I barely remember it. Yeah. And Optimus Prime's barely in it, and. Yeah, it just got
and then it's
lost.
like Megatron has this team. They built like they put this whole emphasis on Megatron building his super team of
his
like,
fucking
bad guys.
his Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and it's like, and then it's totally thrown out the window. It's like you barely engage with them. Where
I'm glad I didn't pay my $20 to go see that. I'm glad that was a good decision for me. So, but yeah, it's promised by pulling it away. Then I think they'll have more time to figure something out. And hopefully, we get a better product. So we've been waiting for. What do you think of this Spider-Man casting news? Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. You read this?
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about
interesting.
That. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's just like Mysterio.
I know. That's what I did. I didn't go right to Jake Gyllenhaal because he can do anything. Right?
Yeah,
like he's always fan casted in so much stuff. Mm-hmm. It's the character of Mysterio. Like you really have to retcon a lot of stuff because he can't just be a special effects guy, can he? And act like he's gonna pull some he's gonna pull some David Copperfield shit. Like, but at least since it isn't a Spider-Man movie, you have to assume that Sony will allow Marvel to take the lead creatively, just like they did for Homecoming.
That's true.
And if they can crack it, they're the only team that can crack this.
It's almost like the story would have to be like super emphasis on Spider-Man using his spider sense and controlling it. Because like if Mysterio threw up a hologram, he should know, Spider-Man should know that it's not real, right? Mm-hmm. Unless you're like he's throwing projectiles at him while there's a hologram. But I think that's what like the story would be about, like the whole spider sense thing. And
that's cool. It's a complicated character to get around because I'm hit or miss when it comes to. I'm not saying this will be a magic movie, but I'm hit or miss when it comes to so-called magic movies. Yeah, stuff like The Prestige, The Illusionist, really cool. But I can't. And no offense to anyone who's a fan of this, but I can't stand the Now You See Me movies.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched those?
I watched one and then I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, like I get it's supposed to be brainless, but there's only so far till it goes into like insulting. Like I'm watching CGI magic. Yeah. That can't possibly happen, and then there's stupid twists that make no sense at all. Like, okay, you guys are just doing this on the fly, right? So it needs to be, whereas The Prestige, right, the Christopher Nolan movie, there was some ridiculousness in it, right? Because Tesla creates a cloning machine. Yeah. But I bought it. I bought into it. It didn't break my. It didn't seem like a cheat to me. It just seemed like a crazy science fiction idea that was pretty impressive. Even though both are ridiculous, one was just presented to me in kind of a more plausible way that didn't take me out. Whereas Now You See Me, I'm just like, fuck this. So for when Mysterio is battling, I would much rather it be, a special kind of tech or whatever the fuck is going on versus just like how are you doing that? Like it's impossible. Like so it's a very fine line for them to tread on him to be able to fight Spider-Man.
Are you stealing Wakandan technology with all?
Yeah, is that what's happening? Yeah. Like it has to be very sophisticated. Stuff. Where they never had to deal with that whenever in the comics or the cartoons. They could just do whatever he wanted.
And how much money would you have to be like you need to be Mysterio? You know what I mean? To pay for everything, all the electronics.
Oh, I know.
All the.
Yeah. So, but I mean, they've already set up, at least with the first Spider-Man: Homecoming, they set it up where, okay, this is all repurposed Chitauri tech. Yes. So maybe there's something that he's going to re-engineer from that. I can't imagine what he'll pull from though.
Because I like those. Remember Spider-Man the animated series where he had those cubes and it's just like create a whole world.
Yeah.
That'd be smart. Yeah. Should teeth that.
Yeah, but they have to at least make a legit. Where does he get all that stuff from?
Exactly.
You can't just go to but he's gonna hire the Tinkerer away from Vulture and have him fucking make some ridiculous holographic thing that fits into his pocket. Like,
but that's smart because it's like now the Tinkerer could be like the guy where you get all your tech from, and he's a lone villain all to himself, and people just come to the Tinkerer. It's like, hey, I made you a scorpion. A suit. I made you.
Right. Yeah. That's a Canadian actor that's playing Scorpion.
Yeah.
Michael Mandel.
And he's Vaz in
Far Cry. Yeah. And he was on Orphan Black and
I never
Better Call Saul. Yeah. Man's getting some work. Good for him. So tons of TV news. We're just gonna cover like a couple of them, but Amazon's working on this Lord of the Rings prequel TV series.
Yeah.
Because every one of these streaming services is trying to get their own Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Fantasy and sci-fi never been more popular than right now, especially amongst the streaming community. Because regular network TV, a lot like they can't. It takes a certain amount of patience and intelligence to follow a lot of these sci-fi and fantasy shows, and I think the regular general network sitcom watching people, they miss an episode and then they're lost.
Yeah.
So being able to watch it on a streaming service whenever you want or binge it, it just suits more to being successful.
Especially like when you see like the Expanse just got taken by Amazon.
Yeah, Sci-Fi canceled it. Yeah, Amazon picks it up. It's meant for streaming.
Exactly.
Right, because that's very complex. And you miss one episode, you're fucked. Yeah. So
and you could just see it on your own time instead of waiting.
It'll be so much better. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the end of season 3 because we've got a few more episodes left, and then season 4. But yeah, exactly the same line of thinking. So the rumor is this prequel series could deal with a young Aragorn.
Okay.
Which would be interesting. And when we say young Aragorn's old by the time he hits the Fellowship of the Ring. Isn't he? Like, how old is he? Is he 100 years old by the time Fellowship of the Ring?
Are you serious? Is that like what the hell's the?
I think he has something. I'm gonna look this up as we're doing this. Or Aragorn, but would you watch? As I look this up, would you watch a young Aragorn movie?
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch it. I'd rather see. I wish they'd do like Shadows of Mordor or something like that. That'd be fun to watch.
Right. I haven't played those games.
Or like really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta lend you those because.
Is there good mythology?
Awesome. Yeah.
What era does that take place in? Is it pre-Fellowship?
Yes, pre-Fellowship.
Okay, it's not after.
Yeah, and the guy that the main character is a ranger, and he basically is kind of possessed, like partially possessed by like one of the makers of the rings, the ring of power. So like the ghost that's possessing him wants to get the ring of power too, and it's and it's like you could take over people's bodies.
I like it.
Yeah,
man, that would be expensive.
So well, I mean, they're spending all this money anyway. So
that's right. Yeah, they got it. Yeah, Jeff Bezos has got the money. They're good for it. So when they set out from the Shire, and they still on Oregon Strider, he's 87 years old.
How the hell?
Yeah.
What is the?
It's the Middle Earth climate.
I guess so.
It's good for the skin. Yeah. So so when you're talking about young Aragorn, you have a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Like you literally have 80 some odd years before he shows up.
Do whatever you want.
So there's a lot to play through. So I'm excited for
you can follow him throughout the years.
Oh, easily. Yeah. I'm down for that.
Like Krypton? Supposed to?
Yeah, I'm one episode into Krypton.
Really? Okay. But did you like the pilot?
I did.
Yeah. It's like, this is... Yeah. He blows the guy's arm off, and you're like, whoa, this is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I was down as soon as I saw the Brainiac reveal. Even before it started, I'm like, okay, I'm giving this a chance. No matter what's happening, I at least want to get to that part. So, Gotham. Do you watch Gotham? I don't know.
Yes.
Do you? Okay, yeah. So, renewed for a 5th and final season. And there's talk of finally seeing, rather than doing the Smallville thing where the last scene of Smallville is literally him as the realized complete Superman.
Yeah.
There's talk of them not doing that for Gotham. So there's rumors of like a time jump. So you may get like a Batman year 1 or like just pre-Batman.
So he
year
like
1.
returns to Gotham, and that would be cool because I don't see how they could make him Batman at the end of it unless he goes abroad. Because that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah. That way you would need a time jump for the final season. And these are just rumors. I don't think any of this is for sure. I don't do my homework. I don't. I read headlines and a little bit. I'm not a journalist, folks. We just like to gossip about this.
Yeah.
But that might actually get. I've been off and on with Gotham. Like I peek in every while when Jerome or whatever the fake Joker.
Yes.
Want to be, but
well, now he's dead, and that is his twin brother.
Yeah.
And now he's like, it's like they're playing different aspects of the Joker.
Right.
And it's gonna be interesting to see who's the real Joker.
Mm-hmm.
How that happens.
Another big headline we should talk about: HBO's Watchmen being developed by Damon Lindelof, known for Lost, known for Prometheus, but most importantly, The Leftovers.
Yeah.
3 awesome seasons if you not
love The Leftovers. I keep telling people about it, but
total home run.
Yeah.
Like absolutely perfect. So he's heading up the Watchmen series, and he was pretty specific about because there's some confusion of what's going to happen. Are you going to reinterpret what the books are? Are we doing an adaptation of the Before Watchmen series because those comics came out?
Yeah.
So it's present day, but so present day with what he equated it to as the Watchmen books of the Old Testament, and this new series is the New Testament. So of course you have to abide by what happened before. So comedian spoilers for Watchmen. I don't know why you're. If you're watching this, I don't know how you haven't seen Watchmen yet or read them. But comedian dead, Horshack dead. His journal is still out there. Ozymandias' plan went through. Dr. Manhattan is gone, and that's all. Imagine that was our history from the 80s, and now we are in the a generation later, living in the aftermath of that.
And it's like the Spectre. What's her name? The
Silk Spectre. Yeah, she survived. Night Owl is,
and she was pregnant too, survived. Right?
Yeah, that I can't remember. I don't know if she was. Maybe it's subtly mentioned, but I'm missing that she was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the opportunity is definitely there because we see her in bed with Dr. Manhattan, and then later she bangs Night Owl in his. Because I
feel you need like another superpowered being, and that would be the most logical because it's like imagine like Night Owl raising this child for so long thinking it's his, and then it's really Dr. Manhattan's, and it's like he starts displaying powers.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
As he starts to age, that definitely adds a new wrinkle to the lineage. I'd be down for that.
And it's like Rorschach. I know he's dead, but like even in the comic books, he's there's a Rorschach in the DC universe, and it's not the same character, but it's somebody else taking the mantle.
Someone's taking on the mantle. Okay,
so it's like that could happen too.
I like that.
Yeah, I'd love to see another Rorschach, like somebody being a copycat, like reading the journal. It's like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense.
For sure there would be some other conspiracy theory nut.
Yeah.
And isn't that like a really hardcore right wing newspaper that he leaves it with? That he leaves his journal with? Yeah. You're gonna have wannabes. You're gonna have people inspired by what he did and take him to mantle for sure. Yeah. I'm down for this. There's definitely it's definitely very ambitious, and it's risky, but given the freedom that HBO gave him on that gave Lindelof on The Leftovers, and he crushed it. He's got momentum on his side. It's at the right place too. Yeah. Because HBO lets you, once they say they're on board with you, they're like, all right, here's your season, get it done. None of this how traditional network TV goes, where you're doing random episodes here and there, and then just cancel you after the 4th. Like they'll let you get your vision out there, and if it doesn't work after the first season, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. All right, so staying on with TV shows, let's talk about Cobra Kai. What a YouTube Red show. I remember watching the trailer, and we shared it all together, and I was like, okay, that was kind of cool, but I felt like it was almost like a Funny or Die skit, and I'm like, is this going to be real? They can actually do a full season of this shit, right? And YouTube Red, I had never watched, and I think this was like this is the flagship show for YouTube Red, their subscription paid streaming service. I couldn't believe how well they nailed everything about it.
That was such a treat to watch. I was
everything.
Like, I remember Josh kept on telling me, it's like, watch Cobra Kai. I'm like, yeah. And it's like, I'm watching these shows, and I keep on seeing the icon, and I'm like, all right, today I'm going to give it a chance. And it's like, I couldn't have had a better idea, because you can tell the writer was a fan of the movie.
Yeah, but there's 2 writers. There's some interviews with them. They both grew up big fans of. I think they've done. I forget what they've done in the past, but they've gotten their ears wet. Yeah. In the industry for sure, so they knew what they were doing. They know where they were coming from. I think they did the Harold and Kumar movies.
Really?
Yeah. So they definitely have an understanding of modern era comedy, what it takes, but yet this love of the original Karate Kid series, and perfect melding. Like even just from production value, I was like, I put it up against Entourage.
Yes, yeah.
You know?
just like the layers of different conflicts that you're like, man, I can't wait till this, this person sees this person, and oh my gosh, this is gonna, and just the take, and like somebody from, is almost like Johnny Sweep the Leg came from the past into the future, and is like, this is what he thinks of society, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they didn't do it as a cartoon character, like, oh, this guy's just totally unrealistic.
Yeah,
that is how a aggro, cocky as fuck 80s bully.
Yeah.
If you look at it from the traditional way of Karate Kid would look at it, but as a guy that felt that he got a raw deal. And my favorite scene is when you get Johnny's side of the story.
Yeah. Oh, when he's explaining to his people.
I just went to go talk to my girlfriend, and there's this new Danny guy sticking his nose into it, right? And sure, Johnny's an asshole through the whole thing. Like, he treats Daniel like an asshole through the whole thing and makes a really stupid decision. But at the same time, you can see where his skewed perspective is coming from and influenced his choices and his outlook. Like, they didn't stretch it. It was totally plausible, and you feel for Johnny at the end.
And that's an actual YouTube video where they explain how.
I've seen that from a couple years ago. It's great.
Like Daniel's really the bully of the. Yeah,
I have to imagine that led to some inspiration.
Yes.
For these writers, I have to imagine, because that was a massive video. I enjoyed that one too. I shared that a ton. But like, this show is Johnny's show. Like, it was interesting how I didn't want to see much of the LaRussos and Daniel at all. What they gave me was great, especially with the stuff of Mr. Miyagi and him training, being the sensei now. The way they did that was great, and that surprised me as I was watching the show. I'm like, oh, are they gonna paint Daniel as just like the bad guy now, and he's just some rich prick? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm down for that, because Johnny's real entertaining and funny. But yet, they hit a home run with everything.
Well, the story is so relatable.
Yeah,
it's like you have these guys that almost peaked at high school.
In terms of Johnny.
In terms of Johnny and in terms of Daniel, because everything that Daniel has now is because of that tournament. You know what I mean? Like, when he advertises his cars and whatnot,
it's his identity.
Like, it's his shtick, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Johnny Sweep the Leg, where it's like, if only I won, I would have been this, and that, right? Yeah. And then it's like, he decides to open up Cobra Kai again, and then Daniel drives by and sees it, and he's triggered.
Yeah.
He's so triggered by this, like, oh my God, and all these memories start flooding in, and then it's like, I'm going to do everything I can to stop this, which makes him the bad guy. Yeah. It's so funny, because it's like, even if you just watch the movie, then Johnny's the bad guy. And you kind of root for Daniel, but then if you're just new to this, then Daniel's the bad guy.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
But and if you're new, that means you're like maybe like younger generation, and you're kind of you want Johnny to win, but Johnny is everything you wouldn't want as a millennial. You know what I mean? He's a bully. Yeah. He says things that he's not supposed to be. He's not PC.
Yeah, not PC at all. Yeah. And then he has some... It's just so... What a smart move for them not to make Johnny just a aggro, fucking macho doofus, right? He grows. Yeah. And you begin to see from his character arc of him just being a product of the influences he was around.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And when we first go into Karate Kid and you see what Cobra Kai is, they are a product of their sensei.
Yes.
But you don't know what those guys were like freshman year, because you're seeing them as seniors.
That's true.
Right? You don't know what they were like freshman year. They whatever their history is that we don't know, it's easy to imagine that Johnny might have been the outcast, like some of the guys, like the people that joined his Cobra Kai.
He was, because he was saying it. He
totally was an outcast. That's right.
And it's just like he just wants to belong somewhere, and then he sees Cobra Kai.
He wanted to stop getting bullied because his stepfather was treating him like shit. Yeah. Right. So so it really is all about perspective, and I didn't expect such important story themes being brought into that, and that was just so smart from every angle, from every character that's in there. They're not even from his students. Like, you just see the guy Hawk. the kid who he was calling him Lip, and then you think he's just being an idiot, and yet the kid just did need a push. He didn't need coddling. By just the kid being pushed and challenged, he comes back and takes his
something
advice.
better. Yeah.
But then now the fine line of maybe he's going too far now. Now he's becoming too much closer to the Cobra Kai of old of what we saw, which just adds to the conflict and everything. But it's just, I didn't expect the students that came in to have such interesting arcs that related back to the original.
Even the girl, I forgot her name.
I forgot her too. Yeah, she's a natural Cobra.
Yeah, but it's like no girls, blah blah blah, and it's like, yo, you need the money. Come on, let's do this.
And then
like,
he goes,
do they pick on you?
Girls can't do karate. they're weak and have hollow bones.
Yeah,
like that's just a perfect ignorant statement.
Exactly.
Which he's just never thought about if they could do it all because he doesn't keep up with.
And he's like, do they pick on you? He's like, yeah, mostly online. He's like, what? Those pussies.
Yeah.
Back in my day, when I pick on somebody, I do it to their face, and it's like, it's like people are so focused on being PC and but it's like now you have like internet trolls where you can just say whatever you want and be anonymous. But that is some pussy shit. You know what I mean? And it's like,
totally is.
Yeah, and it's like it's this commentary of, like I said, it's like somebody coming from the past into the future, and it's like, oh my god, this is what's going on. This is ridiculous.
And he's because he's off the grid completely. He has no idea about anything of what's going on in 2018. But yet he's able to perfectly. You can see why Cobra Kai would have been so popular, because it's a very empowering group to be a part of.
Yes.
Right. And he's changed all these kids' life by bringing that in.
Yeah.
Really appreciated that, and it kind of comes full circle at the end, in the end tournament, where he's seen, okay, am I pushing these kids too far? I'm turning them into villains now.
He's actually seeing it.
He's lost control.
He's like, oh my god, what have I done? This is not what I wanted. You can see it, like you can see it in his face. And what about Johnny's son, who looked like the kid from Sidekick? Remember that with Chuck Norris?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, this is Sidekick.
Yeah. And that just added a whole nother layer. And then there's a bit of a love triangle going on between Johnny's top student, his son, who's under the Miyagi-Do, and then LaRusso's daughter. And I didn't expect that much conflict across characters and at every level. I can't think of one throwaway character. And as well as and the commentary on today's issues without it being so forced. Johnny being like, you don't want to be a pussy, you want to have balls.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to be all gendery about this? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he does soften up and accept the fact that Cobra Kai needs to be for everybody, and these are the people that need help, and he shows the growth. It was just, I can't say enough good things about it. Yeah.
And like, when Johnny's pupil was getting bullied by those kids, and it turns out, like, depending on how you look at it, even the bullies appear to be the good guys.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean. The however which way you turn it, ever so slightly, you can see where somebody could think that person's good. It's like there was no like good guy in the. There's a lot of gray.
It's all just perspective of where you're coming from. Just like how Johnny complains about, I was just at Halloween hanging out, and all of a sudden LaRusso dumps water on me. Yeah. And then we're chasing, that was totally not needed, right? Like LaRusso did that just to impress whatever the girlfriend name was. And all Johnny just wanted to get back with her. He thought, they were just on a break. They weren't like hardcore, at least in terms of his eyes, right? And then then he gets his ass kicked by Miyagi. Some old man comes out of the shadows and beats up on all his kids. Somewhere, the group of guys that Johnny beats up, they're just gonna say, some drunken idiot went and kicked all our asses. Some grown man.
And there was this one point where Johnny's car, was it bike or it was
in
no, it was a car.
Yeah,
no, Johnny's car got smashed by Daniel's
his cousin.
They made, And
the bikers fucked up. Yeah, to send a message, which LaRusso didn't want.
For this one day, for whatever reason, like they're going for a test drive, Johnny and Daniel, and they realize it's like, man, in a different world, we could have been friends.
Yeah, it was just a matter of who got first. Like they both never really had a real father figure.
Yeah,
their sensei was the best father figure they ever had.
Yeah,
Johnny just got the low end because he got the way more aggressive, destructive guy.
Yeah.
And whereas Daniel had Miyagi, who was far more passive, more spiritual, whatever. Yeah. It was literally just happenstance. Right?
Yeah.
Because Daniel walked into Cobra Kai.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the first one. And then he realized, that's where the guys are from. Shit, I'm not staying here.
Yeah.
But what if those guys weren't from there? Daniel would be Cobra Kai. It's just the strange random happenings in life that shape a person, and they're both the dichotomy of that. Even though deep down they both started more or less from the same thing,
same path. Yeah,
and then now they've almost kind of flip-flopped roles.
Yes,
they're still rivals, and it didn't have to. There was enough in the show too. Something I was worried about is like, is this just going to be nostalgia, and that's all they have to ride on?
Yeah,
because there's not much. Like, it can get boring really quick. But every time they flash back, I can't think of one flashback that didn't work and didn't help move this story forward. I care so much about these new characters too. Like, I'm interested in what happens to Johnny's son. Even Hawk. Like, what happens to Hawk now? They just brought in the interest. All the characters work. The soundtrack too. Like
like
so good,
and everything fit.
Yeah,
and it's like it was almost timeless. It's like, oh my gosh, this works on so many levels, man.
It does.
Like, especially when he went to the arcade.
Yes,
and it's just like, that's how if you're gonna reboot something, everybody's talking about reboots.
Yeah,
it's like that's how you do it.
That's how you do it. Yeah, you don't do it the Ghostbusters way.
Yeah,
this is exactly how you do it. And they followed the even though The Last Jedi had some. It was a split kind of amongst the fan base, but The Force Awakens definitely got you on board with the new generation of characters. You cared.
Yeah.
And they did that by honoring what happened before, so it's the best of both worlds. That's the way to do it, not Ghostbusters' way of, you acknowledge it, but you wipe it all out.
Yeah.
The tone is completely changed. It has not even resembling things of what people liked before.
And you have a bit of the old characters, and you set up these scenes where it's like, oh my, it almost brings you back.
Yeah.
With the new characters, it's like, oh my gosh, this could be the next Princess Leia, or this could be the next Luke Skywalker. Yeah. And
meaningfully, all those flashbacks meaningfully impacted whatever the current storyline was. It wasn't just a flashback and nostalgia for the sake of it.
Yeah.
It was influencing their decisions because they would think back, remember what they did.
Yeah.
And it would influence, okay, what do I do next, or the current situation. Especially that's the stuff I love the most about Daniel in Cobra Kai show is, he goes to Miyagi's grave.
Yeah.
Or he, all the different stuff that he
cleans out his training room.
Yeah.
And he sees that picture of Miyagi and he starts training again. And
yeah. It really brought back the same type of feeling that spoilers for The Last Jedi when Yoda shows up with Luke, right? It's not just in there as a throwaway, like every Ghostbuster cameo in the new Ghostbusters one. It's in there for a meaning and allows the present storyline to develop and only builds on it. So really good. Where do you think they go from here for season 2?
Oh well.
Do you think they get Elizabeth Shue back? Is she at all interested in? Does she need work? Is she gonna come back with it? Because they're definitely leaving that. They're definitely planting that seed with Johnny because he reminisces about her a lot. And even when he's in the high school and he goes and sees her photo there, you can see it in his eyes. He's thinking about the one that got away, and he still cares for her that way. So they're definitely setting that up. I have no idea if
I honestly think that's gonna be a setup for maybe even later seasons, like season 3, because right now it's like the old master returned, and now
that's right.
He has to bring him into Cobra Kai because that's it. He can sue him, right? he can sue Johnny because it's like, hey, you took my dojo name, you took my everything. Yeah. So I'm proud of you.
Yeah. This is how we're going to do this
now. Yeah,
that's right.
So now it's like, now with that tutelage, with the way Cobra Kai is now at the tournament, it's going to be, now they're going to be bullies. Yeah. They're definitely going to be bullies.
Oh, yeah. And I can definitely see that happening. Then you're going to have some of those Cobra Kai students that, Johnny wanted to pull back, but he didn't speak up loud enough. He just kind of let it happen during the tournament of them going too far. Yeah. They are automatically going to flock to the more aggressive.
Yeah. Because now he's changing up. Yeah. He's changing up all of a sudden.
You're probably going to see a rift for sure. So that'll add some interesting conflict.
That'll be almost like a civil war going inside the dojo.
It would be.
But who's Johnny's pupil again? What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember.
Whatever. I forget, even Johnny's pupil, like the way he treated Daniel's daughter, and then now she starts training again. Yeah. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna be my own woman. Yeah. Fuck the both of you guys. Yeah. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? And who knows what she does with that? Yeah. And I think a whole lot of people are gonna go over to Miyagi-Do.
Yeah. It might even be Johnny, or maybe there's like a
partnership.
A partnership somehow.
Because he gets kicked out, and then they
I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Like it was a little. I hope that they pay it off, because otherwise that part where he shows up at the end, even though it was very cool, that was the only kind of shoehorned in thing. Because he was, what's that actor's name?
I thought he was dead. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And I can't remember his character name either. But yeah, whoever the original Cobra Kai sensei was. Yeah. When he shows up, it is kind of like he shows up and it's like all dark and he walks out of the shadows. Like he's like,
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, but does he have a cigar? Does he even have a cigar?
Yeah, he got a cigar.
Yeah, that was the only kind of.
Finally won.
It was a bit of a stretch, but I was down with it because it was short and then, total success though, completely. And I think other people are liking it too. Even friends of mine that they don't even get into a show. Like maybe they were into Entourage or something like that, but they don't get into a lot of these shows. They binge watch this right away.
I've been telling people to watch this show for some time, but I hope everybody gives this show a chance, man, because I just can't believe it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Good for them. Yeah, they from production to production value to the quality of the casting, the acting of these guys. Because I had no idea. The guy that plays Johnny, what's his name? Something Zabka, William Zabka or something like that.
Johnny Sweet Delight.
I had no idea what kind of work he's done or whatever, and he came in and fucking killed it. Like his comedic timing was on. Physically, he looked, like he could, like he's still been a practitioner, like he could move. Very, very cool. They need to get what's his name? Machida on, because Machida knocked another person out with a crane kick, I think.
Oh yeah!
I think he did it again.
That'll be an interesting. That would be an interesting season. It's like they finally come to terms. Everybody's cool. Miyagi, Do, and Cobra Kai in peace, and they're doing all these tournaments, and then MMA school opens up.
Yeah, and then
what karate? Yeah.
Like, they handled that well.
Muay Thai knee in the chest.
Yeah. They handled that well too, though, because the kid being like, "What is this? Jiu-jitsu? What is this?"
Yeah.
No, this is karate. Very cool. Well, it's a huge recommendation for us for Cobra Kai. Looking forward to season number 2. All right, guys, let's get to main event. Spoiler review for Deadpool 2. We're going to go right into spoilers like we normally do. So there's absolutely no buffering time. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend you go see it first, then come check us out.
Yep, you got 2 weeks.
You've been warned. Yeah, there's enough time. What the fuck are you doing? Overall thoughts, Deadpool 2.
I enjoyed it. I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as the first one, but I think it's the only reason is like now because of the budget and they were throwing so many jokes in that in the audience everybody was laughing and then missing other jokes. Yeah. So it's just like you have stacked. This rewatchability. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's just like I mean, I enjoyed it, but
me too. Yeah.
It's just for some reason, like compared to the first movie, even though it had a better budget and had more people and that, I enjoyed the first one more, but it was still fun to watch.
Yeah, I think I'm with you in that. They definitely amped up a lot. The action was great. you got what you were asking for, and probably even more than what you were asking for in terms of the comedy.
Yeah.
You definitely were never bored. It never felt like it was lagging. There was always something original happening that was funny, and no matter what, it delivers on the laughs from the beginning of the movie all the way through the opening credits, even to the end credits. Like, there's big laughs to be had. I don't think I'll end up watching it as much as I watched Deadpool 1. And we can get into some specifics. But overall, yeah, like, you had to go check it out. Go watch it with your boys. You're gonna laugh. Yeah. Whether it's a movie too that my wife really enjoyed Deadpool 1, right? Because since it's not so ingrained in lore and it's kind of a more lighthearted take on it, as long as an action comedy fan can just go in and watch it. And if you're a Ryan Reynolds fan, you're gonna really enjoy it. So like my wife wants me to take her and go see Deadpool 2. She really enjoyed the first Deadpool. So it has its own crossover appeal, definitely, and the box office shows it. Like we knew it, and for an R-rated comedy to making this much cash is nuts.
It's proving yet again. It's like I'm so happy this is happening because now it's like R-rated movies are coming back.
Yeah, and but because R-rated for a reason, like quality, because it impacts the story. It's not just R-rated for the sake of being R-rated. Yeah, the audience is there. Our favorite part. There's probably multiple favorite parts, but any one that stands out to you?
Okay, so when he's forming the X-Force, and I'm like, okay, there's this build up, and I can't wait for this mission to pop off, and then it's like, boom, everybody dies, like right off the bat, and it's just like, okay, because you're watching YouTube and you're all these theories and whatnot, and that guy who was just a regular guy, the guy with the mustache, Peter, and you're like thinking Peter's gonna do something. It's like nope, everybody dies.
Yeah,
yeah.
And there was misleading. That was such a good surprise and awesome and hilarious to watch.
Yeah,
because they set us up with the trailers for that too. Because you saw Shatterstar fighting, you saw Bedlam fighting.
Yeah,
so you actually thought they would at least have some sort of action going on. But yeah, nope. All dead.
Everybody's doing that now, man.
Yeah, trailers are lies. I think I'm gonna do like a video of trailers are lies.
Yeah,
because what they're showing, I prefer that than actually having the movie spoiled through trailers.
Yeah, because we can't even do a trailer reaction anymore now because it's like everything is.
It doesn't even make sense anymore.
Yeah,
because what they're showing you in the trailer doesn't actually show up in the movie. Yeah, very cool. I did enjoy that scene. It was just funny scene, and then the Brad Pitt cameo of Vanisher, hilarious.
And then like seeing Colossus like care about Deadpool and trying to help Deadpool, and then you always have that one friend that is like you're always trying to help and save, and this time is turn, and he keeps screwing up.
Colossus in these Deadpool movies has to be. It might be the most accurate screen adaptation of maybe not just a comic book character, but like a fictional character. Like I can't like there's always like you look at all the Batman movies and they've all been great, but there's always been a little tweak that they had to do. They couldn't really tell the whole story. Man, Colossus is just realized in the most perfect way.
Yeah.
From the quality of the CG, how tall he is, the voice, his motivations, his reactions to everything, playing the straight man. They nail everything about Colossus. It's
like trying to be that moral compass.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. It's absolutely perfect. And I remember we watched X-Men 2 and we're like, oh, Nightcrawler looks great.
Yeah.
I think Colossus is easily one of the best realized characters. Like it's literally just plucked right from the page, and there it is in real life. It's a hell of an accomplishment.
I'm like, even like when you see him, it's like, oh, that's the ultimate version of Colossus.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I'm glad they built on him too, and they didn't just leave it as okay, well, we're gonna get these other characters in. Like, no, you can tell that he is in there as like you said, the moral compass for Deadpool, and will be a part of the storylines moving forward, whether they do X-Force or anything else. Like, he needs to be in every movie and have more dialogue in every movie. Make him a real part of it. Because he works. Every aspect of him works.
What did you think of Cable?
I dug it. It was cool. there's been so many different, like the Cable for me that always stands out is from the cartoon series.
Yes.
So it's really hard once that's ingrained in you. It's the same thing with Wolverine, right? There's just when you have that early impression and you're indoctrinated, and those are the characters and the interpretations that indoctrinate you into the universe and indoctrinate you into the love affair of X-Men and comics. It's hard to break. Everything else is just a take on that, which is why I like the Colossus so much, because he's exactly like what my first ever introduction was to the X-Men. But I get it. It totally worked. I mean, we can't make another giant CG guy that's 6'8" or however the fuck tall Cable's supposed to be. And as much as you can do all the fan art you want and fan castings and make Kevin Nash look like Cable, but to actually deliver the performance, you need someone with some real acting chops, and
So here's
Brolin delivered.
So here's the interesting thing. So Brolin wasn't the first pick for Cable. It was Brad Pitt.
I've seen the fan art of Brad Pitt,
and I was like, how interesting. Like, do I think he'd make a good? This is gonna sound really weird. Do I think he would make a good Cable? Yeah, possibly. Mm-hmm. But Nate Summers. So there's like kind of two Cables. So there's like the Cable where it's Scott Summers, and then I think some clone version of Jean Grey or something like that. That's the Cable version, right? Yeah, yeah. And then there's Scott and Jean, right? And like in the comic book, I guess because of different eras, like the big beefed up Cable looks a lot more like Josh Brolin, right? But the Nate Summers version, like X-Man, I'm like, he looks a lot like Brad Pitt. Yeah, I can definitely see that. So,
interesting.
Like, who's to say that doesn't happen? Later on. But it's just like,
that's cool. Yeah, they could have gone so many different ways, and I do like that they introduced the very subtly, without having to go into a whole bunch of backstory, for the fans that know about the techno-organic virus that he's fighting.
Yeah.
I think they had those silent scenes of him looking in the mirror and you can see how much it was spreading. So that was there without you having to be spoon-fed.
Yeah.
And a casual audience, I don't think they need to have all that thrown in, because it doesn't impact the plot. You just know, you can see something's fucked up. Right? Yeah. And it's not like a clean cut, so you can tell something's messed up there. So they brought that up fine. I think the big, before we get to criticisms, the big highlight for me is something a lot of us have been waiting for a long time: the fight between Juggernaut and Colossus.
Yes.
And there was rumors of Juggernaut being in this, and I'm so glad that it actually did turn out that way, because it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Even all the way back to I remember anticipating, and you guys got to understand, when you grow up being the big kids, like how me and Sean were, those are the characters you gravitate to, right?
A lot
Colossus,
of sport characters,
because when you're playing in the yard and you don't want to play two-hand touch football. You want to play tackle football. Yeah. That's where the advantage plays to us. Or in Canada, we play a game called British Bulldog, which is essentially just rugby without the ball. It's just a free-for-all for tackling. Your size becomes your advantage then, so we always gravitated towards Colossus, Apocalypse, Juggernaut.
Hands down.
You're just always a fan of seeing the heavyweights go. And X-Men 2, when we first see Colossus show up, we're like, oh, they're going to do Juggernaut, they got to do it. And then X-Men 3, they cast Juggernaut. We're like, okay, it looks kind of weird, but they're going to fight. Yeah. And they never fucking fought. It was just, dude, how do you not put that heavyweight matchup together?
Exactly.
It's taken this long, and they finally delivered on it.
And because you always think of, it's like you always think of those, like, Thing versus Hulk, Juggernaut versus Hulk, or Colossus, and it's like
you want to see the matchups.
Yeah.
Thor versus Hulk, and everything. You want to see those real cool matchups. That's why UFC and boxing are always so interesting, because they're like, oh, what if that guy fights that guy, right?
Exactly.
And we grew up in shit like that too, where you wanted to, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, right? That was one of the interesting things once they started to do the crossovers of Marvel versus Capcom.
Yes.
And you're like, let me see how these fight. Like, there's certain interesting fights that you want to put together, and X-Men 3 just picked all the wrong ones. But Deadpool now is just getting it completely right. I liked, even though it's a big CG battle, and Deadpool even preempts you with that too. Not time for the big CG battle. It looked good. I don't see how you could do it any other way.
No.
Because you couldn't just get some giant, do it. Like, you couldn't put John Cena in fucking the Juggernaut suit. You just got to have him.
Exactly.
It's a cartoon movie. Just fucking have him in that. He doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to have a dozen lines. Mm-hmm. Just give him the few lines of what he's needed for, and let him go in there and fight.
I was like, even for Colossus was really overpowered. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Compared to Juggernaut's thing is like, as soon as he's in forward motion, nothing can stop him. But like, Colossus just like stops him, throws him, throws. I was like, when is this happening?
Yeah, it was cool. I need to see that part again.
He was almost on like Hulk level, and I was just like, whoa, this is amazing. I can't.
That was fun. Yeah. That was really, really fun. I enjoyed that. Does Juggernaut? Oh, I think even though it seems that Juggernaut dies, apparently in the background you can see him crawling out of the pool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't kill him.
At least I read that online somewhere, so you can definitely come back. Because
even if there was nobody with psychic abilities, so even if you took off his helmet, the only thing the helmet does is protect him from psychic attacks. Yeah. So even if you electrocute him and put him in a pool, he's not gonna die like that.
Yeah. So good point. I like how they mentioned he has the offhand line because Fire Fist says, "Yeah, so why do you wear that helmet to keep your brother from eating your mind?"
Yeah.
He's always trying to. So they acknowledge the fact that he's. Is he half brother of Professor X?
No, he's like stepbrother.
They're not blood.
No.
Oh, it's stepbrother, not half brother.
No.
Okay, I thought they actually did have some blood relation. But that was
like a Brady Bunch thing where they just got married. They already had kids. They got married
for a short time. Yeah. Okay, interesting. And then there's just little stuff brought in there, like for you to know the story, it pays off.
Yes,
really well. So that was a ton of stuff that I really like, but that one being something that you wanted to see for so long, delivered in every way possible that I could have hoped for. Anything that didn't work for you?
Okay, so at the end, like I get like, you know, you have to have scenes after and whatnot, but the fact that Deadpool saved his girlfriend means that the whole movie didn't exist. Yeah. Because there'd be no reason to, you know what I mean? To form the X-Force, to find Fire Fist, which means Fire Fist would be evil. And he completely changed time, and then he would have fucked up Cable's timeline again. Mm-hmm. Because he would have did that temper tantrum outside of his school. He would have got arrested, and he'd be in that prison until he got out, which would have hardened him, and then he would have killed Cable's kid. So it's like...
Yeah, that's the interesting part, and all that stuff has to be canon. Like it can't just be, and then that's the thing. If I'm going to take away anything to this, is that as just a self-contained movie, Deadpool 2 is really, really good, right? But what it does lack is it's still not helping the Fox Marvel continuity, right? They're all just one-offs. You don't know which one can link to the other. True. And that's stuff that I really do appreciate. Like I like how the Marvel Cinematic Universe, everything impacts everything. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying Deadpool doesn't take things seriously, but there's definitely not the commitment to an extended overarching story across everything. It's like, we're here for a good time. Let's see what kind of ridiculous shit we can do in this movie with these characters that you're very familiar with and with the lore. Fourth wall breaking with what you know about the real world production of these movies and the actors and shit like that. You know, I'm gonna kill Ryan Reynolds before he does Green Lantern to save you from watching Green Lantern. All that stuff in the moment and everything else is really fun, and it's such a product of just right now because it really plays on us being fans going through this journey. But if there's anything that I would want to see for the future, is that now that we've kind of done that and we've enjoyed making fun of everything, what if we do start actually purposely taking care of future storylines
for canon?
And I think the way it can be is like, if there's ever Deadpool, like if it's a Deadpool movie and we're watching the movie through Deadpool's eyes, I'm totally good with any movie like that just being totally batshit crazy because you're viewing it from his perspective. But I think you can get to a point where Deadpool is a part of quote unquote more serious storyline movie in the X-Men world. where we're seeing it how other people view Deadpool, as if he's talking to the audience, and we're seeing it how the other characters are seeing him. He's just talking to space. Like, what the fuck's wrong with that guy? He's crazy. Yeah. And the rest of the team continue on. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if they take that. Like, will an X-Force movie be all from Deadpool's perspective, or will it be from? Do we take it from like Colossus's perspective and then see Deadpool how they see him as just some nutbar? Because then you can actually put more effort into a real time travel story with Cable. Because there's such good sci-fi elements in the Cable storyline, and they do such a good job that if they just pivot a little bit and go, whereas Deadpool 2 was probably 90% comedy, 10% actual thought to the storyline. Yeah. And maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe 80-20. Maybe if they just go a little bit more 65-35 of keep the comedy in there, but give us a little bit more of a Cable time travel story or a real thing that X-Force has to do, and tone down the one-liners a bit and pull from some more of these really cool comic book storylines. I'd like to see that move on.
The thing is, it's like the timeline is so screwed up.
Yeah.
Because if it's like if Deadpool's canon, right? Mm-hmm. And so the Logan thing already happened and he already died. Right?
Isn't that in a few years in the future? Well, but he has the figure.
Yeah, he has the spinning figure.
So yeah, it makes no sense.
So then,
but yet in the X Mansion, living with Colossus and everything else is these characters that came around in the 80s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, I know.
So I love that Cable's in here. So maybe they can actually one day, if they wanted to, just reset the whole timeline.
Yeah.
But
all that's up in the air because I don't know what's happening with this Disney merger, and now Comcast is coming in with liquid cash in their deal, trying to offer up to buy them. But I don't know whereas Disney is a mix of cash and stocks.
I'm sure Disney could just go into the vault somewhere and
unless they don't have to. But that's the thing. I don't know enough about the Fox movie licenses for the Marvel properties. I don't know because it's not as if it's a blanket one. I think there's I think they licensed Fantastic Four in that universe, and then I think there was a deal for X-Men and a deal for some other things. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's just a blanket license, which can actually we don't know what's in the deal. Can those ownership of licenses transfer after an acquisition, or was there language in there where it said if Fox gets acquired or bankrupt or anything, they revert back to Marvel proper? I don't know. I don't know what's in them.
Because if that's the case, then there'd be no need to. If Comcast is buying Fox,
does it necessarily mean that they can take over the Marvel license?
Yeah. But it's like, why would you even want to buy it? Unless there's sports. And
there's still a ton, man. It's got Predator, Alien. I don't know if the sports are part of it, but all the sitcoms. You got to think about there's fucking Simpsons. That's rights to Simpsons, Family Guy.
Yeah.
If you're Disney and you're trying to launch, and everybody's trying to launch some streaming service, having the back catalog of all that shit to be able to have content on your streaming site it's plug and play.
Well, if I was Disney, I would do anything in my power to acquire Fox, because if you think about it, first you get all those characters back.
There's Avatar too.
Yeah, Avatar.
Yeah.
But just Marvel, for expanding your universe, right? Mm-hmm. And because this is what's making them, I feel, is making the most money right now in Disney, right? And then on top of that, you have an outlet where if you want to do rated R stuff, it's like, oh, hey, this is Fox. Yeah. This isn't Disney.
Yeah.
This is Fox.
Yeah. You can totally have it.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the mouse in the castle open it up. You just keep Fox or Fox Searchlight, whatever the fuck production company it's under, and
it's out there.
Yeah, it's totally arm's reach away. I agree. And you just get access to, because it's obvious Avengers now are going cosmic, right? Because it's going to be hard for them to come back down to Earth and do all this shit.
That's true.
So
which they already fitted, because they already used Ultron.
Yeah. So you're going to need Silver Surfer. You're going to need Galactus. You're going to need to pull off a whole bunch of all these other cosmic characters, which are a lot of them are under the Fox license.
Yep.
And then back down to Earth, you can build these X-Men worlds. Have the X-Men coming in and then have more crossovers.
The Shi'ar. You know, that's big with the X-Men.
Are they supposed to do that in this Dark Phoenix movie, which isn't coming out this year anymore? It's been bumped. But that was the rumor that they were going to have the Shi'ar and everything. I don't. All this stuff is just really up in the air.
Honestly, with X-Men, I wish they would just do what they did with Transformers and just take a step back for a while. Yeah. Take a step back, figure out what the heck's going on, who's going to own what, and then make a big splash.
Yeah. But the Deadpool universe doesn't help any of this. It as much fun as it is, it really like it.
I think it's a universe all to itself.
Probably, yeah.
You know, like you have those one-off comic books like Deadpool kills the Marvel universe and all that stuff. One-off. So anytime you do a Deadpool movie, it's like, it's based on, but it's not affecting the canon.
Yeah, good point. Where do you think they go from here? Because Ryan Reynolds has said in some interviews he thinks we may not, going forward, might just be X-Force movies, not specifically Deadpool movie.
Definitely what it should be. Yeah. That's definitely what it should be. I think it should be Cable and the X-Force. You know, I think this, if like this whole New Mutants.
That's delayed too.
Yeah, like I would put that out, right? They all escape the place that they're imprisoned or the nut house or whatever, and then Cable takes them because the X-Force was basically the New Mutants, but run by Cable. Like, because there was like New Mutant comics, and then basically Cable took it over, and then it became X-Force. So I take all those characters and bring them into X-Force. Because I mean, there's not a full roster now unless you count.
They kind of have a decent one at the end. Like at the end of Deadpool 2, you got Cable, Colossus, Deadpool, Domino. Is Fire Fist there walking with him?
Okay.
Yeah. So you kind of have makings, but yeah, you need to bring in. And then you save Peter. Was Peter the only one that he went back and saved when he did the time jump?
Which one's Peter?
Peter was the fat guy with no powers. I just saw the ad.
Yeah.
Because he saves him, doesn't he? Because he's like, don't go to the wood chipper.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. He did save them. I don't know, man.
I really got a kick out of Shatterstar being like, I'm from the Mojo. I'm from Mojo World.
I'm just better than you. Yeah. Like, man, I hope this guy died. I hope this.
See, all that stuff was really good, but then at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, can we do a Mojo World movie? Because that would be fucking awesome, and actually have some That's the thing, is that there's no stakes in any of this, right? There's and you know, I think that's where I was really hoping for what DC was going to bring, and I was so on board for when Man of Steel first came out, because I liked what Nolan brought. I liked the way Man of Steel took off of the inspiration of The Dark Knight and started something new. Yeah. I had a really good time with Batman v Superman, even though we acknowledge its flaws, but they were setting something up where there was going to be hefty stakes, and it wasn't going to, you weren't necessarily going to be spoon-fed the whole way through. You were going to see these characters go through difficult things that you might not want to see them go through. Yeah. But that was just going to be part one. It was going to go full circle and then realize, but we had to go on this journey with all of them, and too much of the audience just wanted, no, that's not my Superman, no, that's not my Batman. I don't care if he's in growing pains. I want it to revolve, but I was looking forward to them bringing the stakes so that I could enjoy like Deadpool more and know, okay, this is just gonna be a good time, a joke, whatever. Yeah. But if every movie becomes like, it can't be like Deadpool, but if every movie becomes Thor Ragnarok, and every comic, because they're like, oh, well, that's how you make the money, you have to do it like that. Yeah. Shit's gonna get tired fast, right? Which is why like Avengers Infinity War was so refreshing too, because that one had, even though you know a lot of guys are gonna come back, you still don't know who is gonna last after the next movie, and it was a refresher. Yeah.
It's like Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. Kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's interesting how Marvel kind of took that over. Yes. And my point is with Deadpool 2, it's been a fun ride, these two. But if it continues with the same formula over and over of just like one-liner after one-liner after one-liner, and then not really paying any good attention to the cool story themes of what's happening around Deadpool, especially with Cable and his purpose and whatever the X-Force goes to, it'll get tiring.
And then there's no payoff.
There is no payoff. Yeah.
So it's like it's an enjoyable ride, but it's like
and it's worked here. If they keep doing it though, it'll get tired. Because you're like, well, why? Because there's just so much cool stuff that we want to see them go through.
Yes.
Which is why I think the X-Force movie, through the eyes of everybody else, not necessarily through the eyes of Deadpool, could really pay off and keep the interest. But
like, what would be funny is if like Deadpool movies, you get funny Ryan Reynolds or funny Deadpool, but in every other movie he's like serious.
Like if we're watching him how other people see him.
Yeah, exactly. You're watching how other people see him, but it's like, oh my god, this guy, you know what I mean? But he does something like he shoots like his gun, and it backfires, and it gets in his arm. And he's like, you know what I mean? He's like, he's probably thinking that, or he's saying that.
Which would be a kick for us too, because we'll be like, even though we're looking at it as he's some crazy guy yelling off screen, we know if we were actually in a Deadpool movie, what we'd be seeing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which makes it just so interesting, like if he does show up in a legit X-Men movie, or if the merger does go through and he's interacting with Spider-Man. Yeah. What all the potential that holds, very, very cool. But as for right now, fucking nailed it, man.
Yeah.
Like, even the post-credit scenes, as fucked up as it does to the story, it was still a good time to sit through and watch, and I wouldn't change it, right? You knew it was going to be delivered, and I think. You're right. I may not watch it as much as the first Deadpool, but you definitely need to rewatch it some, because I'm sure there's tons of stuff that just
you missed,
goes way by, just from the audience laughing too much.
Yeah.
Like the audience was on board. Yeah. Very, very entertaining.
What else is there like for this summer? I feel like everything came out, man.
I know the big ones came out, and I think we're gonna do a solo Star Wars spoiler review as well. Mm-hmm. But I think there was so much crammed in together, because end of April was Avengers, mid-April was Deadpool, and then now this past weekend Star Wars. I mean, the ones I'm looking forward to the rest of the year, I know
Jurassic
there's
World.
I guess I don't know. I don't know. I've seen some stuff and I'm like, what kind of bullshit are they pulling? Like there's a part in a trailer where Chris Pratt, and this isn't a spoiler, it's in the trailer. Chris Pratt's like in what seems to be like a trailer bed with what looks like a T-Rex knocked out or asleep, and then he's trying to move around it not to wake it, and then it starts to wake, and then he just like dives through its mouth and rolls, and then it's just CGI nonsense behind him. It could be good. I mean, maybe I'll go. I think I'll go check it out, because I don't think there's anything else around then, but I'm not like eagerly. I don't think I need to be there opening weekend. I'm really looking forward to Mission Impossible. That looks really, really good. Those have been great, man. Those have been getting better and better with each one. Having Superman in there is cool. Henry Cavill adds something. We get to see how important his mustache is.
Yeah, I know.
How important is this mustache to the story that had to fuck up the production of Justice League? But it just looks fun. It looks like just.
This is the thing. This is the thing about Mission Impossible. The one I watch the most is Mission Impossible 2. That's like.
Do you really?
Yeah, that's
the John Woo one.
Yeah.
Wow, that one's tough for me.
But everything else is like I can watch it 1-2 times and like you know what I mean? Like I enjoy it. I definitely enjoy it. But like the rewatchability, for some reason, the John Woo. It's weird.
The John Woo one is definitely John Woo style.
Yeah.
Like it's as John Woo as you can get.
Yeah.
They've always just been really good, and I think the very first one for me, which made it like, okay, I have to go to theater to watch this, is whatever the fourth one was. Ghost Protocol or something like that. It's one where he climbs the Burj Khalifa. That in IMAX was like, holy shit. Like it was a lot of fun. And I remember going to that one specifically because before it, if you went to the IMAX viewing of that, Dark Knight Rises was going to play the prologue.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Because 10 years, the Dark Knight's 10 years now this summer, 2008. We're 10 years from it. All-time favorite movie. But before the Dark Knight was coming out, in order to hype it up, I forget what it played with, but the entire opening of the Dark Knight of the robbery played in IMAX.
I remember
right before whatever movie happened, so people were going out, and then Dark Knight Rises did it again, and I think it was with that Mission Impossible movie, and that's where we first saw Bane take over the plane and just the ridiculousness. So that's what originally brought me to that, and then Ghost Protocol was awesome, and I'm like, damn, these are fucking event movies now. These Mission Impossible movies, and it's just been keep getting better and better.
I like the one. I really like the one after Ghost Protocol.
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation.
Yeah. He always doesn't he always go rogue?
I know.
Isn't there a movie where they're not trying to hunt him and think he's the bad guy?
I think that
I feel like it happens every single
the
one.
government was out to, like everybody's out to hunt him, but it's like
okay.
the government was out to
all right.
Fuck you.
Not just the IMF.
Yeah.
Whatever it's gonna be. But yeah, what else is I don't know. You make a good point. What else is coming out in the summer?
I don't know. They should have spaced out Solo to be in like the late summer.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that after. But I think you're exactly right. I don't know what else. I'd have to look and see what else there is. But there's no. Like Black Panther happened. February seems to be one people will be vying for from now on.
Yeah.
Especially for comic book movies, because you can, if you're there with no one else around you, your movie can have legs.
That February was a time to.
I think it was the first Deadpool. I think it was the first Deadpool.
I would say even Scorpion King.
Really?
Back then, because I remember Scorpion King was like the most successful of like that time frame, like February, March, or something like that.
Well, Deadpool crushed it, and then now Black Panther just proved a solid movie.
Yeah.
With demand, put it out whenever people show up. Mm-hmm. You're not relegated any. But it seems now like August always seems to be like a dumping ground now.
Yeah.
Like late summer seems to be really, really dry. I mean, we'll do that on the next show. Maybe we'll do a little preview of what's coming up, because I honestly can't think off the top of my head. Cool. But Deadpool 2. I want to watch it again. Gotta take the wife. Watch it a second time. Delivered on anything. The marketing delivered as well. It was funny. We got a Celine Dion song.
Yeah, I know.
A legit.
I bet you that's gonna make the Oscars. At least a nomination.
Fuck, could you imagine?
Yep.
I'd say it deserves it. The movie's gonna make money. It's a popular song. And
could you imagine that Oscar performance where like a bunch of Deadpools dancing around
in high heels?
Oh, I mean, if Hard Out Here for a Pimp made it, got an Oscar.
I got an Oscar. Huh?
Yeah.
And Eminem won an Oscar for 8 Mile.
Yeah. So Celine Dion doing Deadpool.
Hey, if it makes sense, people will tune in to watch it. I think the ratings are still really good for a TV event, but I think they were slipping a little bit. Fuck. Have Deadpool just host the fucking thing. Tell me you can't do better than Jimmy Kimmel or anyone else. Just have Deadpool host it. It'd be ridiculous. All right, no.